How do you feel like this is going?
I feel like it's going good. Just a lot to learn because we were a young team last year. So coaches are doing a good job of emphasizing things that we weren't good at last year, like red zone, executing on third down. So I think it's been going good so far.
You were kind of thrust into being a number one guy because of injuries in the wideout. Now, obviously, with Trenton coming back, I don't want to necessarily say that you're number two, but maybe there's two number ones now. How do you go about that, getting your running mate back on the other side?
Yeah, I like it. I think like as the season got later in the season last year, teams were kind of not so keen down on me a little bit, but they were playing me different because of not having Trenton back. Not having Trenton last year was kind of a hurt to us, but I feel like we all stepped up, and I think him coming back is going to help us a lot next year. I feel like he brings a physical aspect. Like he blocks well, he runs routes well, he's athletic. So I think having him back will be good for us.
And then last thing, I know it'd be great to have Ben out there doing stuff in camp, but I know that you guys get to work a lot with JMO, and JMO showed what he can do at the end of last season. How have you seen progression from him?
Yeah, I think JMO's doing good. I think he's getting the offense down as a young guy, and I think we're in the best situation in the conference. I think we got two starting quarterbacks. I think teams would die to be in a position we are. So just having JMO's back, I feel like he's not making a lot of mistakes as he was last year as a freshman. Well, I mean, technically he's still a freshman, but I think he's progressing a lot, and it's going to be great to have Ben back. Like I said, we have two starting quarterbacks, so I think when Ben comes back, I don't think we're going to miss a beat. If JMO's comes back and be a starter, then we're not going to miss a beat as offense. So I think just having both those cues are going to help us.
How are you kind of sharing that with your defense, even though you've got a lot of experience back on the back two lines?
Yes, sir. Last year I was new, so I was just trying to figure out the defense, figure out how things went here, how the spring went. And, this year I can settle down and kind of help other guys and focus on helping them, and then obviously work on things that I need to work on too.
Do you feel like any extra pressure? Because, obviously, when you're the defensive player of the year, you're going to have expectations, and certainly offenses are probably going to be game planning around you. How do you kind of go about that just mentally, because you're trying to take the next step in your career and have the best season you can?
I have high expectations for myself, and a certain standard that I want to meet, but I don't really worry about, all the accolades, I guess you could say, and stuff like that. I'm just worried about our defense and Emporia State. So
for you guys on the front line, that seems to be where the most new guys are coming in on your defense. How have you seen the front line, the front 3 or 4 progress?
Yeah, I think we're on practice 13 today, and I think, every practice they've gotten a little bit better and figured things out a little bit more, and I think they're coming together pretty well.
And then how excited are you to get some fans out there for the spring showcase coming up on Friday?
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Get some people out there and watch us and have a fun atmosphere.
And you as a coaching staff at least have gotten to where you wanted to get to by the end of your 15 practices?
I believe so. I think every spring is different, and a lot of that is based off what you have coming back. Last year's spring was way different than this year because we didn't have hardly anybody coming back. We got some more veterans coming back this year. You try to, you only have 15 practices. So I think our staff's done a really good job of segmenting those 15 practices to, what we want to get done, say in the first 6 to 7 practices. What do we want to get accomplished the next 5 practices, and then kind of finishing up this last week. So I like the way that our team is practiced, and I think that I like the personality of this team. Now, there's no guarantees with anything coming in the fall, but I think we've had some guys step up leadership-wise. I think we're better in some positions this year than we were last year, which is exciting. So, we have basically 3 practices left, and we want to make sure, we talked about this as a staff, that the way we're coaching them the last 3 practices, we want that to be the same as we did day 1. Everybody's fired up for day 1, right? Spring ball's starting. You're changing, you're out of the weight room a little bit now, and you're out on the practice field. So we want to make sure as coaches, we're still coaching our tail end off until the very last buzzer for the spring showcase.
How have you seen the chemistry develop on this team during the spring?
Well, I think we've always felt like here that we've had a close-knit team. The dynamics have changed with teams because of the transfer portal, guys getting in the, all that. So, like, do I think that we can't take anything for granted here? And that's the way that we look at it. So, yeah, that's been a big part of what we're doing. I've said this before, like, the plays that we're running, the defensive calls that we're making, I mean, there's no repercussions in the spring. The most important thing is this team getting better together, coming together as a team. So when we do face that adversity in the fall, we're able to lean on one another and be able to trust one another. And the things that we're going through this spring and what we have done up to this point, those things are and that togetherness is just as important as, the quarterback making the right read on a certain route, or, linebacker blitzing in the right gap, whatever that might be from a schematic standpoint. The mental part of the game and the togetherness together, to me, is just as important.
Players ready, then what's the player's responsibility during the summer once the spring period comes to an end?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the summer is, and with the player's responsibility, as you just talked about, is it is the most important time because they're controlling a lot. We can't get out and practice with them during the summer. They do the throwing in the evening times or whatever time they set. So they have to be the guys kind of, basically kind of the guys running skills and drills. Like they have to run it. So, like, puts guys in leadership positions where, they got to say, hey, this is what we're doing today, and so forth, and then another thing with the trust comes the commitment. I've always said this in Division II, that the guys that stay during the summer, it's, like, you really got to love the game of football, and you really truly got to be committed because, there's not a big money NIL. There's not, guys aren't getting a scholarship check in the summertime, so it is different. And guys got to live, pay rent, plus, come to the whatever weight groups are scheduled, if they're here. So, like, I feel like that's one of the things that's helped us be successful is our commitment and the things that we do in the summertime. So it's going to be really important. We called it a spring showcase because we're going to showcase our team in different situations. We are going to play some football. I will say that. We're going to play some real football where somebody's going to be tackled, and we're going to have two different teams. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun with that. We're going to have a draft, and we're going to have two teams, and we're going to play basically a quarter of that, and we're also going to do some situational things. Offense versus defense. We will do some, have some fun one-on-one drills. Where guys can compete against one another. So that's kind of what, we'll probably be out there hour and 15, hour and a half. So we want to be able, when you get to that 15th practice, and I've done so many different spring games, spring showcase, spring finale, whatever you want to call it. I've done it 1,000 different ways. I think everybody has the same issue. You base what you do, again, based off where you're at as a program, where you're at as a team at the and you want to go live. You want to put situations where there's a scoreboard up there and have guys have that feeling of, man, this is a little bit different than practice. We want them to experience that, people in the stands, because some guys, they practice when you do a scrimmage and there's nobody up in the stands and it's a Saturday at 10 a.m. Well, some guys do a lot better than they do when the lights are on. You got officials out there. There's a scoreboard. You kind of get to see how people are, how players are really in that environment too. So anyway, that's kind of what I think we're going to be doing. We'll do a quarter real football. We'll do some things like offense versus defense, just some situational things. We'll stay up in those periods, like a thud tag period, but we will go live too as well. So we want to get out of there healthy. You know, I mean, an injury here or there can really, you know, at our level, you know, can change things going into the fall.